Xin chào mọi người đã trở lại với channel của hội game.net và hôm nay chúng ta cùng đi tìm hiểu xem những điều bí mật ở trong Liên Minh Huyền Thoại là gì nhé.
Hey guys, what is up, and I welcome you to a new episode of League of Myths. Don't forget to throw in a like if you do end up enjoying this episode. But without further ado, let us go into the first myth. This one submitted by Fuzzy Andrew on Twitter. What is the interaction with Syndra's W and Zack's passive blobs? So this of course is quite the interesting myth. And there are going to be two test case scenarios. In the first one, I'm going to be using my W on one of the blobs as it is remaining. And I'm going to try holding it in the W stage as long as I can. And just as I say that, you can see the W cancelled about halfway through and Zack automatically regenerated. But in the second scenario, what if I'm holding his W but then try to throw it as soon as possible? Does the blob sort of jolt across the screen and go to his initial location? Or does it just disappear and Zack revives? And as I'm sure you just saw, it disappears and Zack revives. So it does seem like Syndra can delay Zack's passive, but only by a few seconds. The second myth on this episode is, if Yasuo knocks up an invisible Akali plus a nearby enemy into the air and uses the ultimate on the other enemy, so not Akali, will Akali still get hit by the ultimate? So this myth might have sounded somewhat confusing, but it is quite simple. As the Yasuo stacks up his Q 3 times, Braum will stand beside me and Yasuo will knock both of us in the air but only use his ultimate on the Braum. But even though I'm invisible and he only ulted the Braum, I'm still caught in the ultimate since I'm within range. But the other small thing I want to test that is very similar to this myth is that what if Yasuo throws a third part of his Q on myself, the Akali, while I'm invisible and tries spamming his ultimate within the location that he knows I'm at. But as you can see, it has no effect and he does not use his ultimate. The third myth of this episode, can Mordekaiser, Yorick, or Shaco ultimate or the LeBlanc clone use Thresh's Lantern? So for this one, there are of course 4 test case scenarios. The first one we will look at is LeBlanc, and just as I proc my passive, I send it to the Thresh Lantern, and as I begin clicking on it, it automatically registers my main champion, not the clone, to move to the Lantern and to take it. Now let's look at the interaction with Mordekaiser's ultimate. As I finally kill the Sona and get her ghost, I once again spam R all over the Lantern, but it has no effect and the Sona ghost cannot take it. The next one to test is going to be Shaco. This one is quite simple, but as I pop my ultimate, I simply send the clone towards the Lantern. And once again, I'm trying to spam click it, but the clone will obviously not take it. But unlike LeBlanc, it does not make the real me automatically move to take the Lantern. And the final test case scenario for this myth is going to be 2 parts with Yorick. The first part is the ghost that I can control, and the second part is the ghost that is controlled by my ally player. And you can see as I use the ultimate on Lulu and I spam right click on top of the Lantern, the ghost is not taking it. Lulu then suicides to the laser fountain, and now my friend is controlling his own champion. As we wait for the Thresh Lantern, he finally does throw it, but he cannot take it as well. So what we have learned from this is that no clones can take Thresh Lantern to make it as deceptive as possible. And the final myth of this episode, what happens if a target has an ally plus an enemy Zillion bomb on them? So I'm sure the Zillion players know that if you have 2 of your bombs on a single target, it automatically detonates the first one. But does that still apply if it's 2 different Zillions putting their bomb on the same target? In the first scenario, I put my bomb on Vel'Koz and the enemy Zillion put his bomb as well, and it automatically detonated mine. So just for testing purposes, we tried doing it on the Zillion this time to see if it has any form of different interactions, but it did not. And the other Zillion's bomb will simply cancel out the first ones and make it automatically explode. And the final thing we did, again just for testing purposes, is to try and do 4 bombs sequentially. So I use my bomb on him, which then he follows up with his own bomb on himself. That of course used up my first bomb, then I put a second one using my W then Q, and he did the same thing and it just simply cancels my bomb. So that was 4 bombs in a row. Alright guys, that does mark the end of this episode of League of Myths. Don't forget to throw in a like if you did end up enjoying this episode, and maybe share it with your friends as well. Don't forget to submit your own myth as well to potentially see yourself featured in the next episode. You can either do this down below under this video in the comment section, or tweet at me at RedMercyLOL, or on my Facebook fan page, also RedMercyLOL. But I thank you guys for watching this episode, hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you next time. Peace!
Thank mọi người đã coi qua clip, và nếu thấy cái clip này hay thì bạn có thể subscribe ở trong cái kênh Liên Minh Huyền Thoại của mình. Xin chào và hẹn gặp lại các bạn ở trong những clip khác. Thanh mọi người đã coi qua clip, và nếu thấy cái clip này hay thì bạn có thể subscribe ở trong cái kênh Liên Minh Huyền Thoại của mình. Xin chào và hẹn gặp lại các bạn ở trong những clip khác.